All updates from the India-Pakistan tensions, but for now over to Europe, where the Thanksgiving service at Westminster Abbey has now started. The service is to celebrate the 80 years since the end of fighting in Europe, but also commemorates those who fought to make it happen. There are 1,800 guests in attendance at today's service. A 2-minute nationwide silence was also held at Westminster Abbey to mark the 80 years since the end of World War II in Europe. The royal family and senior politicians, including former prime ministers, are attending the WWII Day service, which you can watch live above. Joshua Barnes, anchor and correspondent, we are joined by. Joshua, for the people of Europe, how much of a significant date is WWII Day? 80 years since the Allied victory in World War II.
Well, yes, Thomas. WWII Day is a hugely significant day for a lot of Europe, of course, signalling the end of the Second World War, a conflict which saw millions of deaths and completely changed the lives of so many living in Europe during that time. Of course, the celebration of the end of the conflict, but also a tone of commemoration for those who lost their lives fighting for their respective countries. This service in Westminster Abbey has followed a 2-minute silence to think of those who fought and gave their lives for their country. To give you an update on who's present, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Sir Keir Starmer, is there. We also have members of the royal family, including the Prince and Princess of Wales, also the King and the Queen, King Charles III and Queen Camilla. The service is now continuing, but of course this moment an extremely significant one that is recognised across Europe. Of course, Russia have their own Victory Day celebrations tomorrow, but looking really now at the rest of Europe, commemorating this day and remembering those who, like I said, gave their lives for peace in the European continent.
Joshua, thank you very much for joining us. We stay in Europe, where thick black smoke once again poured from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel today, confirming that cardinals have failed in their second and third ballots to elect a new pope. Thousands gathered in the streets of St. Peter's Square and responded with a mix of applause, disappointment and prayer as the wait for Pope Francis's successor continues. The 133 cardinals locked in conclave since Wednesday evening are required to reach a 2/3 majority, 89 votes, to elect the 267th Pope. So far, that threshold has proved elusive. Morning ballots yielded no consensus and 2 more rounds were expected in the afternoon. If needed, the process will extend into Friday with up to 4 additional votes. The faithful, including many who travelled long distances, expressed both patience and hope. "I don't want it rushed," said Canadian visitor Barbara Mason. "My hope is for a pope who continues Francis's legacy, especially for the poor and the planet." Francis, who passed away on April the 21st at 88, was known for his progressive views and focus on compassion, environment and reform. The next pontiff will inherit a deeply divided church and a rapidly changing world, but first he will have to be found. Moving on now, Donald Trump has just posted again on Truth Social, and he says the